going to do with it. Now we have it laid out for you of how it's going to help you. I turned it on. Goes. Okay. Okay. You got the first year. Absolutely. Okay.
So I just want to say to everyone, good afternoon, and thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule. We know there are 150 other things that you probably could be doing. And it just speaks to your dedication and your commitment to what we're trying to do for our students. So the group this morning enjoyed the PD, so thank you for
You're welcome.
setting us up for that. And just one final comment from me is around, if you have questions beyond this, they are willing to help us. Like, they're not going to leave us hanging, which is a good thing. I ask that you filter the questions through Holly so that we can make sure everyone's on, because if one person asks a question, there's probably several other staff members who have the same question. And so that we don't inundate you guys with the same question, we'll filter them through Holly. And what we discussed this morning is we will create a Google Doc and keep that information so everybody's on the same page and everyone's in the know. So thank you all so very much, and we'll see you sooner than later. So thank you.
Okay, now put that book aside, and I'd like you to take out your leveled readers. Now, some of you have 8 leveled readers on your table, so you have to look through them. Okay. On the back of the leveled readers, it tells you the unit and the week to use them on. So look through those leveled readers. Now, I'm not going to tell y'all what the colors mean. On your paper with the leveled readers, I want you to write down what level you think those kids would be at. Would they be approaching level, on, beyond, or ELL? So look at the different labels. Look through the books. Tell me some of the things that you noticed about those books. Oh, good job. And don't forget to look at the back of them. No, you're looking inside the books too. I'm seeing what you noticed. You can just send them to the
And what if we often have a 4-day week like this?
you can combine this. There's a half a turkey. I'm really good, thank you.
The yellow has a lot of like labels.
Right, the DLL have labels and have labels.
I don't know if it's labeled yet.
Nothing is labeled. So write down purple.
Yeah, you gotta remember, what are these called? So always be all purple, always be yellow.
Yep.
Oh.
Have you figured out which one?
I think so. This is here.
It means that in the back of the book, after the read story, there will be another little story.
What color is your orange one?
Yep.
Open that one. These are both everyone. I think this one has.
Oh, yeah.
This one has
I
labels and stuff, whereas that one doesn't. So this would be for a lower level or yellow. They're the same story. They're just at different levels. And like, let's say, for example, page 6, did they underline the fish on yours?
Yeah, where it's with language.
No. Yep. It's like yellow.
Pretty on for like J.
I think that would benefit them, quite honestly. They feel like they're reading the same songs, but some might just might I really like that I do that. Yeah, and you don't feel like five or something when we sat in that room. I was there five different colors. Okay, so there's these four. So a couple of these are more like, oh, so we're something that has this from more. Oh, you went up. That's good, yeah. How many minutes did we each get last year? Was it like 90, isn't it? What? How many minutes did we get with our kids last year? Was it 90 to readers here? And this year it might be slightly higher because we're expanding the day. Or is that for teamwork? Huh? Is that expanding the day to give us more time or more instruction? Instruction time. So it would be higher than 90 minutes.
Okay. Now, write this stuff down. Everybody have their pen in their hand. Leveled readers. What color is approaching? Very good. Orange. Orange is approaching. What did you say? Below?
Not yet.
Okay, what is ELL? Purple. That was an easy one. What is on grade level? Blue. And beyond?
Green.
Green. Now, how do they look to you? This is what it looks like. Here's the orange. Here's the purple. The blue. And the green. Now, I want to tell you something. If it is a nonfiction week, what did you notice about this? They're all the same title, correct? Okay, so I'm going to pick on this table. Okay, I'm going to pick on this table. So I want you to come up, and you're going to be my approaching level student. So come on up. You are my ELL student. You are my on grade level student. And you are my beyond level student.
Teacher's pet.
I want y'all to open to page 8. And turn the book towards them. Okay, tell me what you noticed.
Same pictures.
Illustration. Same vocabulary, just different readability. So if she is my, where's my approaching? Okay, you're my approaching level student?
Yes, bigger print.
Bigger print? How is she going to feel that she can read this and participate?
Awesome.
Yeah. Now, this is nonfiction that have the same titles. If it is a fiction week, look up here, It's the same theme, but different titles, but oftentimes the ELL will have the same title as the ON. Now, flip yours over to the back. What's your lexile of your approaching? ELL,
4:30.
ON,
5:40. 6:30.
so you're meeting a wide range of kids. Now, if you have an approaching level student that the approaching is too easy for, and the on grade level is too difficult for, could you give them the ELL book? Absolutely. Okay, now, if you have, you guys have large class sizes. If you have 8 kids in a group, split them up into 2 groups. Okay, because the goal is to recharge those kids and get them where we want them to be. 8 is too many. How many books are you receiving of each grade level, of each level? You are receiving 6. So you're getting 6 of each title. You don't have to share them with another teacher. You all are receiving them. Okay, now, one of the things with the ELL, what did you notice about the ELL? Because I heard you say that.
Just a lot of captions and labels, a lot more visuals for them.
Exactly.
Explanations.
And one of the things that I really liked when I used this, in 2nd grade, there's one that has a fire hydrant that's labeled. In Eagle River, there were no fire hydrants. Don't laugh, Lynn. And so my kids were going, how in the world does all that water fit in there? They had no clue because some of them had never left Eagle River. And now they have fire hydrants, so, you know, they popped it up there. So, but this really helped my kids associate what a picture was with what the word. Okay, now, one of the things that one of the groups noticed is after each story, there is also a paired read in here. So how many reads do you have minimum per week? You have 5 reads. What are they? Who can tell me what they are? Come on. You have the reading writing workshop, the literature anthology with a paired read, the leveled reader with a paired read. You've got 5 reads minimum. Now, what if you have a student that, I'm the beyond level kid. I need more. When we go online, I will show you a database. You have over 7,000 free books. Okay, not 700, 7,000 that you could use with your kids. Now, remember, if it is a nonfiction, same title. If it is a fiction, it's the same theme, different title. Now, your goal is to meet with small groups every single day.
This is like your guided reading.
This is your guided reading. You guys have pretty big groups here. Realistically, are you going to be able to meet with every single group every single day? You think you can? No. Don't miss out on your low kids every day. And you could easily alternate your top and your middle so that you're meeting with them at least twice a week. Now, we don't want kids to be stuck in one spot. So who's got my approaching level book? You're doing really great this week, so I want you to take the on grade level, and I'd like you to read page 2 out loud for us. Don't make any mistakes. Sure?
For real?
Yeah. I love you.
The park. Have you ever seen the Rocky Mountains? Most people call them the Rockies. They are part of a huge mountain range. They stretch from Alaska all the way down to New Mexico. That's a really long way. The Rockies are more than 3,000 miles long. They are 300 miles wide in some places.
Did she do well?
Yeah.
So that means, because she did really well for me, the next week, I'm just going to go online and I'm going to make sure that she gets the on grade level instead of the approaching level bar. No kids are ever going to be stuck in one spot. You have 6 units to cover. Some kids you may say, oh, they're not going to be able to move up. After every single unit, every student moves up to the next level, at least for 1 week. At least for 1 week. You may have to drop them down after the next week, but you're giving them that chance to challenge them. But your high-level kids, you're still going to keep them at this level. But you could easily give them the classroom trade book libraries to read too. Okay, any questions on leveled readers? And when we go online, you do have lesson cards for all of these. So when you're working with small group, you don't have to haul your TE. You actually have cards.
And we don't necessarily have to say, like, all the, you know, all the approaching need to be in the same group. Can we mix them up since they have similar books and if this group's working on, you know, like.
You could do that, however, most of the kids that you're going to have that maybe are your approaching level kids, maybe they need work on just compound words. So you're going to focus in on compound words with that group. Okay, but you could, you know, if you have kids that could fluctuate with each other, it'd be fine. You have to decide what kind of a group you, wait till you get your kids this year and see how they jive together.
And then you said there's other books that we can use, because I know even this approaching, like, a lot of mine are not gonna be able to do
You
that
do,
yet.
yeah,
so-
you do have access
Okay.
from kindergarten all the way through 6th grade, no matter what grade level you are. And you can just assign those and they can log in and read them. Okay? Okay, thank you guys. You guys are good to pick on. That page is full now. You can turn the page. Very good. Now, I'd like you to find the workbook that says weekly practice. Yep, find the workbook that says weekly practice. You have that one? Okay, now let me tell you a couple things about the weekly practice. You will be receiving workbooks for the kids for this. Those are on grade level. If you have kids that need it at a beyond level or an approaching level or an ELL, you can go online and print the corresponding page. Because it will be the same concept, just different readability for your kids or expectations. There will be 10 sheets that you could do per week. You know, do the ones you want to do. We're not telling you you have to do them all. But however, you're not doing our writing at all, right, in any grade level?
Say it one more time.
You're not doing any of our writing? Okay. But this is where you'll have some of your vocabulary, some of your grammar you could use with this too.
Because that's what we were talking about, like how do you, what's a good way to correlate, you know, is if in 4th, 5th, and 6th, you have somebody's doing writing and then somebody's focused on the writing and the grammar, and we might have to be on different days, or obviously if she's teaching reading in the morning and I'm teaching writing, they might have not gotten to the part of the reading. Is there a way that you would suggest to best coordinate to make sure that we're matching and kind of keep that same pace?
Well, you both will have codes and you can share your lesson plans with each other so that you can see what each other is doing.
When is this supposed to be done? Is this like during
This would
readers'
be,
work that time, or?
it would be, because you could do this while you're with your guided reading and the kids can do this independently because you're going to be printing them off for whatever level your kids are at. So if you're my approaching level, I'm going to give you the approaching level page so you can work on that independently.
Are they gonna have a workbook, or are we?
They will have a workbook. They will.
So So the extra page that you're talking about printing is in addition to that, to go along with your.
Yeah, because the workbook's on grade level.
Okay.
So if you had approaching beyond or ELL, then you print it, okay? Or if you assign it online, they can complete it online. If they have devices.
Where the spelling stuff is all?
Nope, that's not where the spelling is. We'll get to that. Okay, so let's put this stuff aside and grab a computer. So we do need laptops right now, or Chromebooks, or whatever you guys have. Holly, do we have laptops and everything for everybody? Okay.
I'll grab them for us.
Okay, thank you.
You know when you stand up and make a sound, something's not right.
Everything, everything, all
It's
day.
because you've been swimming, and you're like, yeah.
And then give me a thumbs up when yours is turned on. When yours is turned on, give me a thumbs up.
I'm sorry. Okay.
When yours is ready to go, give me a thumbs up. Are you guys on? Yeah. You're spinning?
Kara, how did I get in if it says?
So
No, you
once
just go
start
ahead and
typing
start
your-
at the beginning
yeah,
and
just
type
start typing
right
your-
over it.
The internet.
So, and if you're on an iPad there, so go to the guest access, just the guest, not the guest, and then it's gonna be guest 2016 all lowercase.
Remind me how I go.
So, but on the Chromebook, it should automatically pull up the device network, but just type right over. Okay, the students? So navigating what you might wanna not use an iPad, you might wanna grab a Chromebook. I think you're gonna find it easier to navigate.
Go to settings.
So,
And then bring your fast.
you are?
Because you're not doing the writing. Are you guys good? Are you in?
And what was the password, Kara?
Yes. 26, guest 2016.
Now have your notebook alongside of you because I'm going to give you the sample site today. So you could easily go on here in your free time the rest of this week and play. I think we're good, Lynn. I think we're good.
Kara, this isn't, he was just trying to disconnect.
Nice, strongly recommend grabbing a Chrome. So,
Yeah, I would grab a Chromebook.
so,
It's not for me. I can hold it.
yeah, you're in.
Incorrect.
Okay, here we go. This is the site that you are going to. Write this down on your paper. www.connected like connected. Connected. dot McGraw-Hill.com. So connected.mcgraw-hill.com. And log into that and be ready for the username and password as soon as you get logged in.
We need to like write this down.
Yes, write this down.
Write down the.
Yep, so that you can play with it. McGraw-Hill.com. Now, let me give you a word of advice. I'm going to give you the sample site today. Next week, you're going to get your real username and password after you register. And you'll come to a screen that will say to you, this is the only time you will see your username and password. They mean that. Yeah. Okay? So here's my suggestion to you. You're going to write it down in your teacher edition, but you're also going to take a picture of it with your phone. Now, if you think some of you have a ton of usernames and passwords that you have to use for things. Here is my suggestion. You write your username and password down on a sticky note on the book. Then take a picture of it so that you know when you look at it, oh, that's for Wonders. Okay?
So we can't change it, they give it to us and that's.
You can only change your password,
Okay, not our issue.
not your username. Okay? And your username will be either like the first name and then a letter after it and then some numbers. Okay? And the numbers after it is kind of a little trivia. Because if yours is, mine is Sue C 999, it means there's 998 other Sue C's out there that are using Connect App. Okay, so a little bit of trivia. You didn't know that? Yeah.
It's non-common names.
And if your name is
18
Mike,
million.
there's over 10,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't have a number after yours, you're the very first. So if you have a unique name, you're good to go. I don't think any of you have that unique name. I think you'll have a lot of them. Okay, understand that? Okay, here is your username for today. Write this down on your paper so you have it. This is all lowercase, no spaces. Wonders Teacher. So type that in right now. And your password, you guys are so good, you need to pick up your pen. Wonders, the letter T, like in Tom, the number 1. Wonders T1. And then find your grade level. Now, when you see your grade level, do you see a teacher edition and a student edition? Mm-hmm. When Holly sends out your codes for you, you must register as a teacher, and you enter that 16-digit code, and you also must redeem a student edition. You're probably never clicking your student edition, but you must redeem it. So when you log into Connect Ed, you see a teacher edition and a student edition.
Can you say it one more time, please?
Okay? Are you putting that in your email?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the login is the number will be the same. So you're doing it twice, but
No, the teacher number will be different than the student
so you'll
number.
have two
You'll
separate
have two
numbers,
separate
and you have to
16-digit
put
codes.
both in.
You
Okay.
put both in, okay?
And we'll send you directions and everything,
Yeah.
I promise.
And I'm gonna show you that before we leave.
Yeah, actually Lynn already did,
Oh,
so we're
perfect.
all schooling, so, yeah, we
Awesome.
got you covered.
Okay,
As
you're
soon
good
as
to
we
go.
get them, we'll distribute that as soon as I get them.
Okay, then you can go on and you can do your own site. Now, I will tell you one thing today. When you are in the sample site, keep in mind that everybody in the world that is using Wonders, if they're on the sample site, they could easily click on something by mistake and delete it or whatever. So your real site, when you get it, might have some things that this sample site does not have. It depends on how many people have been on the sample site and how many people have gone in there and mistakenly changed something. When you use your real site, keep in mind there's, if you're the first person to do this, I'll be really surprised. There is absolutely no way you can destroy anything that is in the Wonders Connected site. I've never had it happen where people have destroyed anything. Because everything is retrievable that's on the site. If you accidentally delete something, there's a reset button. So you can pull it back in. Okay? Now, let's do the first portion of this, and then we'll take like a 5 to 10 minute break at 1:30. So that you guys have a little bathroom break in there, or get a soda or whatever. I'm going to show this today. Where are my third grade teachers? I'm going to show this from a third grade perspective today.
Excellent.
Okay? So what I'd like you to click on is your your teacher's edition. So I want you to just go find your TE
For our grade or
for your grade and click on it.
Yeah, I just got a text this morning. Or students who just, I just got a text.
Okay? Now, in the left-hand corner, I want you to click on Unit 0. And right next to that, click Unit 1. Week 1. Okay? Unit 0 is what? Start Smart. Unit 0 is Start Smart. Now, I'm going to show you some things. I will be sending Holly a lesson plan for Start Smart that you can fill out that'll make it more make sense today. But there's some things that you need to know as a teacher where you can find the resources for Start Smart in 2nd grade through 6th. So here's my Unit 0, Week 1. I want you to click on your Teach tab. Click on Teach. Now, when you click on Teach, anything that we need to teach with Start Smart is going to appear. Now, it's not on, it might not be there right now, but when you get your real site, that is where everything is going to be. But you need to find your resources for Start Smart. So what I'd like you to click on is click on your Resources tab. Once you click on your Resources tab, I'd like you to go down and click on Teacher Resources. It's on the left-hand side, click Teacher Resources. Now, these are in alphabetical order. Click on the one, scroll to the bottom, click on the one that says Start Smart. And just double click on the picture of the page, the Black Line Master, and there will be, you can use the over arrow, and in 3rd grade there are 8 pages that you would have to print in order to use Start Smart.
Do you print them for each student?
Each student would need one. Okay. And there's a printing button on the bottom. If they're on a device, they can easily complete this online, but for right now, you'd have to print them. Okay, where did we find it? Who can tell me? Resources, Teacher Resources, Start Smart. That is only for grades 2 through 6 because K1 is in their Your Turn practice books that they need for Start Smart. Okay,
And this starts day 1.
starts day 1.
Okay.
Day 1. Now, we're going to pretend that we're creating a class right now. So what I'd like everyone to do is if you click the X in the corner there, we're getting back to the page that looks like this. Give me a thumbs up when you have that. That's really, really good. Okay. What I'd like you to click on is your Manage and Assign tab. Now, we're gonna actually build a class right now and just pretend that we're adding kids. So when you come on this page, in the center, I'd like you to click Class Details.
Are we gonna be building our own, or are they gonna be putting?
You are building your own.
Oh, is this
Okay.
gonna be written out for us? too?
Yep.
I'm supposed to remember it.
It is
I'm
available
taking
in
notes.
PDF,
It is.
and I've already shown Carol where that's located.
So you'll
And
send us the
maybe
link
Sue
for
will
it.
show you real quick
I will.
before we close, but.
Can you
Yeah.
import?
And
You
if you're
can.
not like a reader like
You
me,
will
you need to
import
see
from
it,
an Excel
you have to see
spreadsheet.
those two.
But yes, you will be clicking.
I still know where to find it, because I won't remember where to go.
Yeah, we'll get you there. Yeah,
So if I have 3 groups of students that come through, is
You would
it
create
one class or
three-
3?
you would create 3 different classes. Unless you're going to assign the same thing for every class. And if you do assign the same thing for every class, you could just have them all in one.
Okay,
It's your call,
okay.
okay?
But then would it, okay, so like I have four classes, so
Mhm.
let's say, 100 and whatever kids. If you assign one, are the kids' names in there?
They are in
And then
there.
we put them all alphabetically, all 100 and whatever. So
Mhm.
if you do 4 separate classes,
4 separate
but then
classes.
you'd have to assign everything 4 separate times.
You'd have to assign everything 4 separate times.
Does it allow for like differentiation? So if
It
I
does.
have class 1
Mhm.
and they're all different, I'm sending them different stuff.
Absolutely,
It's
because
probably better to do it by class.
if you notice on mine, I have my kids on here. I have Aaron Rogers, who's my Beyond Level student. So if I assigned him something, I could just click on my Beyond Level, and whatever I assign would only go to my Beyond Level kids.
So how would you recommend doing it if you have 4 different,
If I were you and you're doing it all the same, I would do it all as one.
there's one big huge,
I would just do it that way, because they're all going to be in there in exactly the order you want them in.
Oh, we can put them in, they don't have to be alphabetically,
don't
we
have
can
to.
put them in as a class.
They do have to be alphabetized.
so it won't be separated by class?
It won't be separated by class if you do it that way.
Does it sort?
No.
Cause the other thought was like, if 3rd grade, that shares kids in 4th grade, 5th grade, do we then have to, just one of us would import it? Because if we all have the same kids in different blocks,
Well, one person does all the importing.
and
Okay,
then we
you
just
can
share the
do
class.
that, and then you just pull the kids in that you have. Okay? So the same kids could be on your list, on her list, on her list. They can be in there multiple times. But only, I will tell you, if you're all having the same kids, if you're importing with that Excel spreadsheet, you only do it. Okay, and then they can pull from the big master list. Because if you import the kids, and you import the kids, and you import the kids, you've actually got them in there 3 different times, so they'll have 3 different usernames and passwords, and it's a mess. So if you guys are working together, and you know how to do it, you do it. And then they can just add the kids.
How would they,
Here's what I would recommend, just to keep it simple, if you can. I would have one person per grade level.
Import them.
All those grade level kids. Okay, because
This,
you really don't wanna have kids in there multiple times.
Yeah.
Or even better, if there is a tech person, I'm just gonna throw this out, sometimes in some districts, there's one tech person who
does it
uploads
all.
your entire school on a form, that can be done. And then a teacher goes in and searches for, I wanna find Angela, I wanna find Sue, and you
Yeah.
put them in your class. Here's the thing, don't worry too much about how you set up your class right now. Go with what Sue suggests, maybe just create one. But what you can do is always if you decide, you know what, I would rather have these kids in four different groups.
you can change
You
that.
can do that later, but the data isn't lost for that kid. You
Yeah.
just kind of take them out and then bring them back in again. So I wouldn't sweat that part too much.
Yeah.
The main thing you do wanna think about right from the front, from the get-go, is how do you get those kids into what I call the school in the cloud?
Yep.
We've gotta get them in the cloud first, and we don't wanna put those kids in 3-4 times.
If you work independently and you don't share kids, you could easily each do it.
Yeah.
But if you share kids like y'all do, then one person take charge. Okay?
I guess why would all
Well,
of you?
yeah, it wouldn't matter anyways, because Colleen, you guys are a separate, your kids
Yeah,
are completely
I won't have that
different
issue,
than.
cause I'm
Well,
just.
we have three of us, and if he's doing writing and possibly grammar and spelling, he might need to.
Right, but you could import them,
I
because you're
will.
the reading teacher, and then
Yeah.
he would just add
He
them,
could
or
just
look at
pull
your
them in.
documents, like
Yep.
when he wants to. Because he'll have access.
But you
to it.
sound like you might know how to do it faster,
No.
you know, because you're already asking, oh, is it an Excel spreadsheet? Yeah.
Like, he would just go into, like, if people ask you.
A lot of
I
them
have
don't.
access online, I don't need to go in, and I'm not gonna, pull what I need.
Yeah. Now, let me throw this out
They
there.
should know their passcode, like that's.
The first day of school, when all of your kids are in, if you do by chance get a new student the first day, and oftentimes that happens, and the second, and the third, and the fourth, and Christmas time,
And a day, the last day.
and the last day of school, keep in mind, guys, listen to me, do not add them to the current spreadsheet that you put in. You just open up a brand new spreadsheet for that 1 or 2 or 3 kids. Because if you add it to what's already done, it duplicates all their usernames and passwords.
So say that again, if somebody comes in after you've created your whole class,
You download that student template for one student, okay? Otherwise, you have a mess.
That's where it would be helpful almost if
If one person were in charge.
I think Andy would do that, because he does it with other stuff.
Yeah.
Just
But I
say
don't wanna
Andy's gonna
answer.
do it.
Karen's here now, we can ask her.
We'll just say Karen's doing it.
lucky Kara.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'll have
so
you
it's
talk to
not-
Lynn about
Okay,
that.
all right. sounds good.
Okay? Okay, here we go. So on the right-hand side, everybody on the screen that kind of I am? On the right-hand side, click Create Class. Now, because everybody in the United States is going to see this, for the class name, just put your first name.
Can you make something up?
You can make anything up. Okay? Now it has your grade level, and it says simplified login. Grades 2 and up are not doing simplified login. That is meant for kindergarten and first grade, or if you have any students that are totally non-readers.
I think I'm with her. She was, yeah, we went to manage and sign.
She was, so I took her.
And on the bottom left, click Next. Now there's a little calendar there. Click on that little calendar. Now, think of your first days of school. You guys start on September 1st, right? Are you going to teach reading on September 1st? Are you going to start September 1st? On day one?
We're not, we start the weekend.
Are you going to start it on that Friday, or are you going to start it the Tuesday after
Whatever we're at.
Labor Day? Let's just say you're starting it on that Tuesday. Okay? So click on that little calendar
Wait.
and move it to September 6th. It does, but it's not.
It's very far away.
It's very close.
Don't be
far away.
deceived, girl.
And click Next.
Suggested.
Now, your entire calendar is right here. We're just going to make some dates up that you're not in school. We're just going to pretend y'all are not in school on Halloween. So click October 31st. Now, when you actually do this, please have your school calendar by your side so you can set this up.
What about half days?
Half days, you can always go back in here and edit anything, okay? So we're just going to say Halloween is the only day you're not in school. Now, scroll to the bottom, and click save. Now do not touch your computer for any reason.
Patient.
Be patient, it says. Because what has this now done? This has now created your entire year's lesson plan for you. Yeah.
So now we gotta have the lesson plans on our desk? It's all right here.
It's all right here. It's all done for you. Oh, yeah. That's a hallelujah.
It is a holiday.
Yeah. So now I want you to look at mine. So now that it is done, I'd like you to go back and I would like you to click on your plan tab. It looks like a little calendar. I heard, who said that? Can you say that louder so everybody can hear you?
Why did they invent this 29 years ago?
But
Let
you're
me
only
tell you.
29. It's a
Oh,
close.
yeah, right.
That's really good. Now, once we clicked on that calendar, this is what pops up. So now you have it sorted by day. However, things happen in your classroom, don't it? Let's say you start teaching reading, and all of a sudden there's a fire drill. Doesn't ever happen, right? Or somebody, yeah, you have a special, or you have an assembly at the last minute. If you don't get something done, look what you do. So let's say that I'm on Unit 1. Make sure you're on Unit 1, Week 1. Go to Unit 1, Week 1. And it says I'm reading Bruno's New Home in 3rd grade on Unit 1, Week 1. But we had a fire drill in the middle of it, and I didn't get it done. Look at what you do. You just click on Bruno's New Home, and I physically move it to the top of, whoa. And as soon as I moved it to the top, everything associated with Bruno's New Home gets moved to the next day.
Can you split it?
So then does it mean it goes longer
Can
the
you
next
split
day?
it?
So, let's say you get started with it, but you didn't get a chance to finish it because the fire drill interrupted it.
You would still have to pull it over.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'd have to remember where you left off. Okay? Now, how many minutes do y'all have to teach for ELA?
60.
60? Okay. So, does anyone have 120? In your dreams, right?
Right.
Okay, right now, it's set up for 120 minutes. However, we're going to drop it down for you. If you scroll back up, on the right hand, right in the center here, do you see where it says planner option? Click on that planner option and turn the core path on. Now, who can tell me what happened when you turned that core path on?
Certain things weren't as important and they were highlighted.
That means that you will not be testing on those items this week, and they took them away. However, you can pull one back if you need to. Because if I had kids in here and my kids were horrible listeners, sometimes that happens, I could say, well, I need to just reactivate that one listening comprehension. So I can click on that and just reactivate one of the lessons. The other ones can stay gone.
Say it one more time.
Okay, so if you have kids that, here I'm working on phonics. If my 3rd graders really need work on short A&I, I can click on this little cogwheel here, and I can click reactivate lesson. And it will light back up again. Okay, now, we have to do one other thing to this. So we've already turned the core path on. Now I want you to hide the inactive lessons. Now they've totally disappeared, so that when we launch the presentation, the things that we don't need, you're not going to be tempted to click on. You can always bring them back. And the way you bring them back is you click on planner option and you just turn it off. Okay, now, what do you do if you have a sub in your room? And you're using, how do you cry? That is a classic too. You guys are the best. Now, I'm gonna make it really easy for you if you have a sub. On the right-hand side, click the printer. And let's just say everyone is going to be gone September 7th. Please don't be if your district is telling you. So click on September 7th as your start date and click on September 7th as your end date. And click print. And now open that up on the bottom of your screen and you have just printed off your lesson plans for your sub. It is sweet.
Is it pretty user-friendly for this, like the
It's
subs actually
so
do?
easy. So easy. Otherwise, they're fumbling in your book.
Yeah.
This way you know exactly what's being covered.
I'm looking at it, and it's small group, whole group. Is there a, like we'd be able to print out the list of kids who's in what group, or kids just know that?
Kids know it because they're color-coded. So, you know, you could easily have a chart in your classroom, orange, blue group, green group. We're never gonna tell the kids your approaching level.
Right, you just say the color.
Yeah, you just say the colors.
The bluebirds are the colors.
Well, the eagles, remember the eagles? I was a bluebird, that was bad. That was bad, the bluebirds were bad. Okay, so that is that. Now, I want you to click on your calendar, where it says calendar. Oftentimes, you don't have as many snow days as we have down here, but you might go on a field trip. Everybody with me? If you ever go on a field trip and you're not teaching reading that day, or maybe it's only a half a day and you're not going to be teaching, I want everyone to click on Unit 1, Week 1, Day 1. I want you to click on that little triangle by the number. Unit 1, Week 1, Day 1, click on the triangle. Click Add a Non-Teaching Day and type in Field Day.
Oh, here's where you could do half days too.
You can.
Because it says condensed lesson block.
We haven't gotten there yet.
I'm sorry, I'm so excited.
Now, look what happened as soon as I did that. It automatically advances your whole lesson plan for you. Okay? Now, if you have a 4-day week, you can condense and take out day 5, and you can condense it. So, yeah, that's an applause right there. So I could go here, and I could put condensed lesson block, take out day 5, click OK, and now it has been condensed to 4 days versus 5 days. Now, I will tell you, you can expand it too. So if you needed to go an extra day, you could go an extra day. Please don't take a week and spread it out for 2 weeks. If you do that, listen to what I say. Okay, everybody hear that? Because everything in this program spirals. Let it go.
That was pretty good, huh?
We should have, that's on videotape, you guys. Go.
There's your chance to sing in front of
Here
people.
you go.
Right there it was.
Because you don't have to master it. Everything's coming back. Just let it go and move on. Now, let me tell you one thing people have done in the past. And I will tell you this. I don't know if you want to know this or not. But in the back of your teacher edition, don't even look here yet. In the back of your teacher edition, there is a little section just in case you love that story that's in the literature anthology, and maybe you want to use that in depth, you could expand that literature anthology story over 2 weeks if you wanted to. However, you still continue to move on with your reading writing workshop book. Okay? Still move on. Okay. Now, why do you need to, we just spent 15 minutes on the calendar. Why did we spend so much time on the calendar? It's super important because, get this, the kids, when they log in, because your calendar is accurate, they only receive the stories for that week. They cannot go ahead. So you're not going to have a student that says to you, Mrs. Preisinger, I just read the whole book over the weekend. No, you lied. You really didn't.
Can you modify that? So let's say we know of a student that's going on a week vacation, could you could you send that to them or no?
No, because the next week they'll automatically get it anyway. Yeah. And, yes,
Are the previous assigned books then available to them at will to practice reading?
there is a way, but I don't recommend you tell your kids that way, because then they can read the entire book,
Oh, okay.
okay? I waited until the last week of school and said to my kids, look what McGraw-Hill just added for you. And then they could practice reading over the summertime, because your kids will have access to all of these stories all next summer too. So they can practice at home. Okay? Now, another reason, yeah, like they will. Now, another reason that your calendar is current is because there's a family newsletter that goes home that tells all the skills that they're working on for that week. All of your spelling words too will automatically be sent, plus the leveled reader that you selected for them. And if there's any games associated with that week, they can automatically play the games. There's games to reinforce everything that you do for that week.
Is the newsletter something you print, or is that something?
You can print it, but you can also just send it, and when the kids log in at home, their parents can read it. There's no emails involved.
Oh, but the kids have to log in.
They have to log in with their parent. I just, sent out, I do have a parent letter that I sent out with my kids so that they know how to log in. And then I just reviewed it a little bit when it was open house with my parents, so they can understand what to do.
Sue?
Yeah.
Are you able to type in that calendar? Can you add?
Yeah.
You can?
So you can click in it and just type anything you need.
You have to click add a non-teaching name and type it in.
And what again?
Add a non-teaching day, and then you can type it in.
Yeah, but if we add a non-teaching day, it's gonna bump the lesson.
It will bump the lesson.
So there's no way of writing without bumping.
Right. There's not.
That's what we were thinking about. So we'll have to just print them and then handwrite them.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that we talked about in the last group is that you do have some parents that need this in a newsletter, maybe in Spanish or in Hmong. We do have both of those available. So let me show you that. So look at my screen. Anything that we send home with the parents, if you print that off, I always print it off whatever language they needed it in, plus English, and attached it. Now, before I move on to this one, let me just show you one other thing that you have on this screen. If I click weekly standards, go ahead and click weekly standards. Look at the standards that third grade is covering in 1 week. Kind of blows your mind that you are actually working on all those. Doesn't mean they're mastering those, but it means you're exposing the kids to all of those standards. That's a lot of work you guys are all doing. People don't understand what elementary teachers go through, because this is really amazing what is there. Okay, it is now 1:45. How many of you need like a 5-minute break? Okay, let's come back at, can we do 1:55? Okay, let's do 1:55, because we only have until 3 o'clock. This? No. Nope. Yeah, no. It should. Oh, I don't know about those.
Well, they're made for 8 a.m.
taller than that?
I know, like we should get in a day, to set the stone and Cause I know, this is one of those things like I'm taking copious notes, but then when it's time, right there, it's gonna be what?
And you wanna set a time now or just wait till we
No,
know
we
exactly?
can wait, I'm actually storing it in my phone here.
Hi, guys, how are you? Yes, it does, and I think I'm gonna